Shalom Israel, shalom.
Shalom.
Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath.
Brothers and sisters, shalom. Sunday bless. Shalom.
Shalom.
Bless. We're going to open up with Acts 15 and 41. Verse 40. Everybody's doing good? Brothers doing good?
Yes, sir.
Sisters doing good?
Yes.
Good. All right. I'm back visiting. And this week has been kind of a headache. A lot of marital issues and confusion going on throughout different states. I went over this lesson in Virginia, the grand opening of Virginia. I went over this lesson, so I'm going to go over it again. Because it's the same reoccurring issue over and over again. It's actually covering two different things. It's covering the vampires in Israel, that's just covering, and the thirst. Vampires of Israel and the thirst. Now, everybody wonder what's that going into. Just want to touch it because I'll touch on the homemongering spirit in Israel, plurality of women. It's also going to touch on the responsibility of the husbands and the wives. So it's going to basically cover two birds with one stone, as they say. Acts 15, verse 40, regarding the repetition of the lesson. Yeah. You got it?
The book of Acts, chapter 15, 40th verse. And Paul chose Silas and departed, being recommended by the brethren unto the grace of God. Verse 41. Mm-hmm. And he went through Syria and Sicilia, conforming the churches.
So he went through the church. He went through Syria and Cilicia, confirming the churches. Meaning he went to make sure that all the churches were on one accord. They were in all one accord and in order. That's what Paul would do. Okay? So that's pretty much what we're doing. We were sent out to go to different schools, visit, and make sure everybody's all right, everything's in order. Because oftentimes a lot of things are not in order. There's confusion going on, whatever, regarding couples or officers start losing their mind or whatever. So we gotta make sure everybody's in their right mind, following the procedures, following everything that's written. And the biggest reoccurring issue is marital issues, marital problems between brothers and sisters. So I'm gonna mention these 5 names. You have Abraham, you have Isaac, you have Jacob, forefathers. Then you have David and Solomon. These 5 men in particular are used as excuses for different things. Now, each of these 5 men had 4 things in common. They had wealth, number 1. They had wealth. They had land. They had power, which they're ruling with, and ruled in, and they were not in captivity. Those are the 4 things that these 5 men have in common. And out of the 5, 1 only had 1 wife. Isaac had Rebekah, and that was it. The other 4 had more than 1. Okay? Now, and Jacob and Abraham had more than 1 by circumstance. He had Hagar by circumstance because Sarah was barren. Sarah could not have any children, and so through lust, pretty much, through desire of a child, because at that time, our sisters were heavily into being mothers. They were not about, I'm going to keep my figure, stay single, stay slim, not get pregnant. Their mindsets were, I want to be a mother, and particularly mother of a son. That was their goal. If they didn't have no kids, they would lose their mind. Well, sometimes it would be to the point of like, wanting to end their lives to that point. Abraham's wife was barren, and so she had him lay with her handmaid, her bondmaid, Hagar. Y'all call Hagar the Egyptian woman. Isaac, of course, Abraham set that up. Abraham went and got sent his servant out to find him a wife. And then we're going to read that. Then Jacob, of course, had his 4. We'll deal with that. David had his many. Solomon had his many. So let's get Genesis chapter 2, verse 20. Well, the topic is vampires of Israel and the thirst.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 20. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam, there was not found an helpmeet for him.
So it says, and Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam, there was not found an helpmeet for him, an help suitable or right for him. Because Adam got his wife last. Because there were other people around aside from Adam. For those of you who are new and think Adam was the only person on the earth, you are sadly mistaken. He was not. Other people were around. Adam got his wife later on. Read on.
And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof.
This is literal. With Adam to sleep, open him up, took out a rib, close him back up. Go ahead.
And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man, made he a woman, and brought her unto the man.
So out of that rib of Adam, he formed a woman out of that rib. Go ahead.
And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh.
Go ahead.
She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man.
Because she was literally taken out of man. Woman means out of or of man. Out of man or of man. Write that down. So Adam named his wife. And he named one woman. Not two, not three. One rib was made to make him that one wife. Because you hear statements like monogamy is satanic. But Satan put this marriage together here. I only have one wife here. In this instance here. Y'all understand so far?
Yes, sir.
So out of Adam, took out one rib, closed him up, formed that rib into a woman. Adam said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. That's where she came from. Therefore, I'll name her woman, the way he named the cattle, because Adam was Lord of everything. The Most High put everything in Adam's hands to name everything. He named all the beasts of the field and so forth. Named his woman, named the rib woman. Okay? Out of man. Let's go to 24 verse 1, the same book. Give me Genesis for a while. And this is 24 and verse 1.
Genesis chapter 24, verse 1. And Abraham was old, and well stricken in age, and the Lord had blessed Abraham in all things.
Blessed Abraham in all things. All things. Meaning Abraham was a wealthy man. Go ahead.
And Abraham said unto his eldest servant of his house.
Now we're going to jump down to verse 12. I'm sorry. Go to chapter 14, verse 12. I'm sorry. Genesis 14, verse 12. We'll go back to that. Genesis chapter 14 and verse 12. So he blessed Abraham in all things. Keep that in mind. Go ahead.
Genesis 14, verse 12. And they took Lot, Abraham's brother's son,
His nephew,
who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed.
Bring out to speed, there was a war between 5 heathen kings. 5 heathen kings had a war among themselves, and in the midst of that war, they encountered Lot and took him captive, or kidnapped him pretty much along with his family. So Abraham got word that his nephew was taken captive during this war between these 5 kings. Go ahead.
And there came one that had escaped, and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, and brother of Adner. And these were confederate with Abram.
They were cool with Abraham. Go ahead.
And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants, born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan.
Now, notice that he had armed his servants. So he had weapons. And he had servants born in his house, 318. That's a lot of people. Abraham had a huge home. The man was wealthy, blessed in all things, including servants. Okay? Pursued them unto Dan, where Dan would eventually end up living later on when Jacob had his sons. That's why it says Dan here. Was Moses wrote this down. That's why it says Dan there. Because Dan wasn't in existence yet. Okay? So now let's jump down to 24 verse 2. Chapter 24 verse 2. So he had armed servants, 318, born in his house. Okay? 24 verse 2.
Genesis chapter 24, verse 2. And Abraham said unto his elder servant of his house, that ruled over all that he had, put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh.
This is a custom that you put your hand under the thigh of your master to keep an oath or a promise at this time. So Abraham sent his servant to do a job. All right? Jump down to verse 21.
Verse 21. And the man, wondering at her, held his peace.
Because Abraham had sent his servant to find a particular woman for his son Isaac, this woman. He told the servant there were certain things that were going to come to pass to let you know that this is the woman that you were there to take for my son as a wife. All right, read on.
And the man, wondering at her,
this is Rebecca, Esau,
held his peace, to wit whether the Lord had made his journey prosperous or not. And it came to pass, as the camels had done drinking, that the man took a golden earring of half a shekel weight.
So Abraham's servant took an earring, a golden earring of half a shekel weight, go ahead.
And 2 bracelets for her hands of 10 shekels weight of gold.
Heavy gold. Remember, weight. This weight, basically, the cost of it is based upon his weight. So this is heavy material, gold, he put on her. Go ahead.
And said, whose daughter art thou? Tell me, I pray thee, is there room in thy father's house for us to lodge in? And she said unto him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Maachah, which she bare unto Nahor.
There you go, go ahead.
She said moreover unto him, we have both straw and vendor enough, and room to lodge in.
So this is Abram's brother's child. Okay? Nahor was Abraham's brother. All right? So now, let's get down to 62, 67. So he gave her weight of gold bracelets, meaning Abraham had wealth. He had servants, he had land, he had all that gold to spare to give her. That's the bride price he's giving, basically. That's what that is. That's the money. Now go to 62 and 67 verses.
Genesis 24, verse 62. And Isaac came from the way of the well, Laharan, for he dwelt in the south country. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide.
So Isaac dwelt in his own land. He dwelt in the south of the country. Go ahead, the south part. Go ahead.
And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming.
The camels are coming with that servant, along with Rebecca, and so on and so forth. Go ahead.
And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lifted off the camel. Lighted off the camel. For she had said unto the servant, what man is this that walketh in the field to meet us? And the servant had said, it is my master. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself.
Covered her head. So that you know that's where a custom of women having their heads covered. Because at this point, he's preordained to be what? The Lord. You understand? So that's why she covered her head. Put a veil on and covered her head. So now, let's read on. Continue. Finish it up.
And the servant told Isaac all things that he had done. And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent.
Sarah's tent to do what? To consummate the marriage. Go ahead.
And took Rebekah, and she became his wife. And he loved her.
And what?
And he loved her.
And Isaac loved Rebekah. Go ahead.
And Isaac was comforted after his mother's death.
Sarah had died. So he found comfort and joy with his wife, whom he loved, which is very important. There's a lot of things which lacks in here. So it has so many problems now. Go to 25, verse 11.
Genesis 25, verse 11. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham that God blessed his son Isaac.
Where he blessed Abraham.
And Isaac dwelt by the well Laharai.
So keep in mind, he went and blessed Isaac. Let's go to 26, verse 5.
Genesis 26, verse 5. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws.
So Abraham kept the commandments of God before Moses was even around. Moses reintroduced the laws to us that was already passed down through our forefathers through oral tradition. So Abraham kept the laws the statutes, the commandments. You see that? So he taught Isaac the same thing. I went there for a reason. You'll see why. Go to 26 verse 12.
Genesis chapter 26, verse 12.
Sorry, I'm jumping around, but it's for good reason. 26 verse 12.
Then Isaac sowed in that land, and received in the same year 100-fold.
He sold in that land. He farmed and received what?
And received in the same year 100-fold.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord blessed him.
Because at that time, that's wealth. That's wealth. Go ahead.
And the man waxed great, and went forward, and grew until he became very great. For he had possession of flocks, and possession of herds, and great store of servants. And the Philistines envied him.
Yeah, so he had great possession of flocks. It says herds, great store of servants, just like his father. And the Philistines envied him because he was a wealthy man. So the Lord blessed Isaac the same way he blessed Abraham. These men were wealthy. Go ahead.
For all the wells which his father's servant had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth.
Okay, so Abraham owned wells. Man had water. This man was wealthy. Go ahead.
And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. And Isaac departed thence, and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar, and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again the wells of water, which they have digged in the days of Abraham his father. For the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham. And he called their names after the names by which his father had called them.
So he inherited his father's wells and reopened them and named them. Go ahead.
And Isaac's servants digged in the valley and found there a well of springing water. Mm-hmm. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdmen, saying, The water is ours. And he called the name of the well Isaac. And because they strove with him.
Contention. Go ahead.
And they digged another well, and strove for that also. And he called the name of it Sitnah.
Hatred. Go ahead.
And he removed from thence, and digged another well. And for that they strove not.
Go ahead.
And he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said, For now the Lord hath made room for us.
That's what it means. It means Rehoboth means room. Go ahead.
And we shall be fruitful in the land.
So they came to an agreement, okay, you can have that well. No more problem. So he kept that well. All right? Go ahead. Well, that's it? 22?
Yes.
Go to Genesis 28 and verse 1. I'm skipping through it, but I'm showing that these men own land, cattle, water, servants. Land, cattle, water, servants. They were wealthy men. Our forefathers were wealthy men. Wealthy. 20... That's where you go? 28 verse 1. Yeah, we're going to read all the way down. Yeah. Verse 1.
Genesis chapter 28, verse 1. And Isaac called Jacob, and blessed him, and charged him, and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan.
So this is the law. This is what Isaac... So how did Isaac know that? Because Abraham knew the laws, statutes, and commandments, and Isaac followed suit. Because Abraham went and found Isaac a wife of his own kindred. Y'all understand? And then then Isaac was told the same. Isaac told his son the same thing his father did for him. Find a wife of your own kindred. Don't marry outside your race. That's before Moses. Okay? Read on.
Arise, go to Padan Aram, to the house of Bethuel, thy mother's father.
Your uncle. No, your uncle. Go ahead.
And take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban thy mother's brother.
Your uncle. Go ahead.
And God Almighty bless thee, and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a multitude of people.
Yeah.
And give thee the blessing of Abraham to thee, and to thy seed with thee, that thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art a stranger, which God gave unto Abraham. And Isaac sent away Jacob, and he went to Padan Aram, and unto Laban, sent unto Bethuel, the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob's and Esau's mother.
Where you at now? What verse you at?
Verse 6 now.
Okay, yeah, read verse 7.
When Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob, and sent him away to Padan Aram, to take him a wife from thence, And that as he blessed him, he gave him a charge, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan.
Commandments, a charge. Go ahead.
And that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother, and was gone to Padanaram.
And Jacob obeyed the law of honor thy mother and thy father, whereas Esau did not do that, because he was the devil of our sweet son, as he is today. He wanted to marry a heathen woman instead. Then, to please his parents, he went and married another heathen woman. Still not following his parents' orders. Being profane and foolish, as his children are today. So now let's jump to verse 29, chapter 29 and verse 10. Chapter 29, verse 10. So Isaac sends his son Jacob to go to Laban, his mother's brother, to fetch him a wife of his own kindred, of his own kindred. Okay? 29, verse 10.
Genesis chapter 29, verse 10. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near, and rolled a stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother.
Okay?
And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice, and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father.
Okay?
And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things.
Right.
And Laban said to him, Surely thou art my bone of my flesh, and my flesh.
Where's that written at? We read it earlier. Who still got good memory? We read that same statement earlier. To the far left. That's you, brother. Stand up. Yep.
Brother Lahu.
Elihu.
Yes.
Where was that read before? What was that read earlier?
It was Genesis chapter 2.
Turn the mic on.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 20 through 24.
Very good. Very good. I added to the same exact thing. Said the same thing, meaning of his own kind. So the Lord of the Most High opened up Adam's rib and took out a woman from him. Rather than give him a woman that was around the time outside of Adam, Lord said, no, I'm going to give you of your own kind, your own flesh. Likewise, the same thing today. That rule applies. The rule of marrying your own kind applies since the very beginning of time. All right? Read it again. Verse 14.
And Laban said to him, Surely thou art my bone and my flesh.
Right, that's what they said about Jacob, his brother. Go ahead.
And he abode with him the space of a month.
Go ahead.
And Laban said unto Jacob, Because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught?
Right, should you work for me for no reason? Go ahead. Since you're my relative, go ahead.
Tell me, what shall thy wages be?
How much you want me to pay you to work for me? Go ahead.
And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah,
Oldest one.
and the name of the younger was Rachel.
Go ahead.
Leah was tender-eyed.
Now, tender-eyed means she was decent looking. She was pretty. She was decent. Tender-eyed. Go ahead.
But Rachel was beautiful and well-favored.
Rachel was bad. Rachel was bad. She was beautiful. Go ahead.
And Jacob loved Rachel.
And of course, Jacob said, oh, that was better. I want that one. So he liked Rachel. Go ahead.
And said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel thy younger daughter.
Now that's a long time. I will serve you 7 years. That one right there. That one is bad. The other one, she's tender-eyed. It's not enough. That one over there. I want that one. Younger one, Rachel. Go ahead.
And Laban said,
No, verse 18 again. Read 18 again.
And Jacob loved Rachel.
You hear that? He loved Rachel. Jacob loved Rachel. Just like Isaac loved Rebekah. You understand that? You see the pattern? How our forefathers loved their spouses? Go ahead.
And Jacob loved Rachel, and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel thy younger daughter.
And he also waited for her too. He worked 7 years before he did anything with her at all, or was allowed to. 7 years he worked for her father to have her. Some of y'all can't wait 7 minutes. Because y'all are simple as hell. I'm just going to say it straight. Not in here. Well, hopefully not in here. But what we've been dealing with these past couple of months, brothers are simple as hell and do what the hell they want to do. They lack integrity. They lack patience. Now I understand brothers are burning and so forth, sisters too. But y'all got to understand you're going to make a mistake that's going to last you a lifetime of misery and pain and heartache. For not simply controlling your loins. Read on.
And Laban said, "It is better that I give her to thee, than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me."
She's better for you than somebody else. Go ahead.
And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days, for the love he had to her.
7 years to him seemed like nothing. 7 years is a long time. I don't understand this. 7 years. It's a long time. He said, man, that's like a few days. I don't know what he loved her. He loved her that much. He said, I worked for 7 years. Ain't nothing but year 7 already? Damn, okay. No problem. Let's go. Because he loved her that much. Go ahead.
And Jacob said unto Laban, "Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled.
Worked for 7 years for you. Now it's time. Go ahead.
That I may go in unto her."
I may consummate, because she was already promised to him. They're already engaged at this point. 7-year engagement. 7-year betrothal. He said, okay, give it to me now so I may lay with her and consummate it. Go ahead.
And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast.
Made a wedding feast. We had wedding celebrations like we do here. They had it even before Moses. They had it back then. Wedding celebrations, a wedding feast. Go ahead.
And it came to pass in the evening.
Stop. He set up a tent. Laban set up a tent in the evening.
And it came to pass that in the morning,
Jacob wakes up. Happy? Rachel. Go ahead.
And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was
He
Leah.
looks over. Oh, what the hell is this? You ain't Rachel. You know, Leah was all quiet. She didn't say a damn thing. She was happy too. Go ahead.
And he said to Laban, "What is this that thou hast done unto me?
He's mad as hell. What have you done? Go ahead.
Did not I serve with thee for Rachel?"
I didn't want her. I wanted Rachel. I worked 7 years for Rachel, not the other one. Go ahead.
"Wherefore then hast thou beguiled
Why
me?"
did you trick me? Go ahead.
And Laban said, "It must not be so done in our country, to give the younger before the firstborn."
It's customary of us to give the eldest first before we give the youngest. So Laban played this dude. Laban was evil, man. Laban was evil. Go ahead. But it was all the Lord's plan. The Most High plans. Go ahead.
Fulfill her week.
So fulfill her week means enjoy her, give her her time, fulfill her week. Spend time with your wife, your newlyweds. Give her her week. Go ahead.
Fulfill her week. And we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years.
He made him work 7 more years to get Rachel now. Played him. Worked 7 years for Rachel, got Leah instead. Got worked 7 more years to get Rachel. 7 more years. So now we're talking 14 years of labor. Go ahead.
And Jacob did so, and fulfilled her week.
So he did so. Go ahead.
And he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also.
After another 7 years. Go ahead.
And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah, his handmaid, to be her maid.
So he gave Bilhah to Rachel as a handmaid. So he got Zilpah and Bilhah as handmaids for both his wives. So he didn't want, in the first place, he didn't want Leah. He wanted Rachel. But the Most High of the plans. Go ahead.
And he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than
He
Leah.
didn't want Leah in the first place. So of course it's natural he loved one more than the other. Go ahead. But the key word is he loved her. Go ahead.
And served with him yet 7 other years.
Served with him to get her 7 more years. Why? Because Laban saw that being with Jacob, being in his presence, being in his land, he was getting blessed. Jacob would work for him. He would gain more than he ever got before with Jacob's presence. So he said, I'm keep this guy here longer. I'm going to have him work for double the amount he goes to work for me. Keep him here longer. Laban was an extortioner. He was exploiting Jacob. Go ahead.
And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren.
So he didn't treat Leah as nice because he didn't want her in the first place. He loved Rachel more. So because of the Moses said, okay, you want me to treat that one? No problem. I'm going to close the pretty one's womb up. Now the pretty one can't have no babies now. So you know, back in the old time, women couldn't bring forth no babies. You were less interesting at that point. You were less alluring at that point. Now it's like, you can't have babies. And Leah started becoming more attractive at this point. Go ahead.
And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben.
That's the firstborn.
For she said, surely the Lord hath looked upon my affliction. Now therefore my husband will love me.
I gave him his firstborn. Leah gave him his firstborn. She loved him. She gave him his firstborn. So she says, my husband will love me. I mean, see a son. Reuben means see a son. Behold, it's a boy. Go ahead.
And she conceived again, and bare a son.
Another son. Go ahead.
And said, because the Lord hath heard that I was hated.
Meaning affliction heard. Go ahead.
He hath therefore given
me. It means heard. It means heard. Go ahead. Hearkening. The listening. Go ahead.
He hath therefore given me this son also. And she called his name Simeon.
It means hearing. Simeon. So Reuben and Simeon got the same mama. Go ahead. So you got the Seminole Indians. Their mama's Leah. So-called Dominicans, their mama's Leah. Go ahead. Y'all can all happy now. That's right. Go ahead.
And she conceived again, and bare a son, and said, now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Mm-hmm. Therefore was his name called Levi.
You're right. You're right.
That's right.
All right. Levi, same mama. So Levi, Simeon, and Reuben got the same mama. Join unto me. That's what Levi means. Go ahead.
And she conceived again, and bare a son.
So you can imagine Rachel who's on her mind. Leah, who was not loved, is not having all the babies. So she had 4 so far. Going on number 4. Go ahead. 4 so far. Go ahead.
And she conceived again and bare a son. And she said, now will I praise the Lord. Therefore she called his name Judah.
Judah.
That's right. And left barren.
And stopped bearing. So she all got the same mama. Judah, Levi, Simeon, and Reuben. Write that down. 4 the same mama. All of us are same parent. Look at talking over there. All right. Thank you, bro. We appreciate you. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you, sir. All praises. So she gave him 4 boys. Most High blessed Leah. Now let's read on. Let's see. Damn, it's fast. Let's go to 30 verse 25.
Genesis chapter 30, verse 25.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass, when Rachel had born Joseph.
No, I'm sorry. Let's jump to verse 25. Rachel ended up giving birth to Joseph and Benjamin. That's what she had. Those are the same mom. She had Benjamin, so-called West Indians, and so-called, and she had Joseph, Ephraim, Manasseh, so-called Puerto Ricans and Cubans. That's what she had. Those 2. She died giving birth to Benjamin, unfortunately. All right. Read on. Let's go to Genesis 30, verse 25.
Genesis chapter 30, verse 25. And it came to pass, when Rachel had born Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, send me away, that I may go unto my own place, and to my country.
Now, Jacob said, okay, enough. I've worked with you long enough. Rachel had Joseph. I'm ready to leave. I'm ready to go back to my own place. With my wives at this time, and children. And he would have left earlier, but Laban was holding him there. Because Jacob was there, he was receiving the same blessings that Jacob was getting regarding cattle and wealth and so forth. He didn't want to let it go. So Jacob said, listen, man, it's time for me to leave here, man. It's enough. Go to my own place. That's the mindset a husband has, a father has. It's time for me to have my own place. Do you understand that? You brothers understand that?
Yes, sir.
Not keep banging this chick in her parents' house. That's not how our forefathers work. He was there working for Laban, and Laban was exploiting him, and the wife said, okay, enough. I want to get out of here, go to my own place, my own country. I want to leave with my family. Continue. Go 26.
Verse 26. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served thee, and let me go. For thou knowest my service which I have done
I
thee.
worked for you long enough, Laban. Enough is enough. I'm tired. Go ahead.
And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thy eyes, tarry. For I have learned by experience that the Lord hath blessed me for thy sake.
See, I've learned upon you being here, the Lord hath blessed me for your sake of you being here. That's why I kept him so long. That's why I gave him later. I kept him a long time. Go ahead.
And he said, appoint me thy wages, and I will give it.
Go ahead.
And he said unto him, thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me.
Go ahead.
For it was little which thou hadst before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude. And the Lord have blessed thee since my coming.
Well,
And now, when shall I provide for my own house also?
I provided for your house. I worked for you for your wife, for your daughters. It's not for me to leave, go my own place, and what? He says, provide for my own house also. The mindset of the men back then was to be the provider of the house and to move away from their parents. Not have their wives stay in there. He didn't say, yeah, leave my wives here, I'll move out, and I'll come back and bang them from time to time. And then I'll come back. And that's not biblical. That's a girlfriend. A frequent romantic or frequent or regular romantic relationship. That's girlfriends. That's not the Bible. That's of the world. So the man says, it's time for me to move to my own place and provide for my own house. This is before Moses. This mindset was already put into his mind through Isaac, who learned it from Abraham. Remember, Abraham kept the commandments. That's why I went there earlier as a prelude. Read to verse 30? Yeah, you did. Let's go to 31:11. So Jacob is now wealthy as well. 31 verse 11.
Genesis chapter 31, verse 11.
Yep.
And the angel of God spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, here am I. And he said, lift up now thine eyes, and see, all the rams which leap up upon the cattle are range-strapped, speckled, and grizzled. For I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee.
Because he was exploiting him. The most I see what Laban's doing to you. Don't worry about it. I got you. Go ahead.
I am the God of Bethel, where thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vowest a vow unto me. Now arise, get thee out from this land, and return unto the land of thy kindred. And Rachel and Leah answered and said,
Now, the land of his kindred goes back to his father's home. Because remember, Abraham dies. What did he leave behind for Isaac? What did he leave behind for, what did Isaac leave behind for Jacob? Land. His own place. Because Isaac died by this time. Isaac's gone. And I'm going to return back to my own place. Go ahead.
And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? Are we not counted of him strangers? For he has sold us, and hath quite devoured also our money.
So Laban took their money too. Laban was robbing Jacob and his daughters. Just robbing them. Go ahead.
Verse 16. For all the riches which God hath taken from our father, that is ours, and our children's. Now then, whatsoever God hath said unto thee, do.
The Lord said to you, it's time for us to go. It's time for us to go. That's his wife said. Go ahead.
Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels.
Go ahead.
And he carried away all his cattle, and all his good which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting, which he had gotten in Pandaram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan.
So Isaac wasn't dead yet. I'm sorry. Isaac wasn't dead. He didn't die as yet. Go ahead.
And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's.
So Rachel was a thief. She was pretty, but she had issues. She stole. She had a stealing spirit. So the Most High blessed Leah far more than her. Leah was a bit more, had more righteousness in her than she did. Let's go to, that's another topic. Let's go to 41 to 42. No, same verse. Same chapter. This is 41, 42. Jump down to 41.
Genesis 31, verse 41. Thus have I been 20 years in thy house.
Read it again.
Thus have I been 20 years in thy
This 20
house.
years. This 20 years.
Thus have I.
That's in your Bible?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Thus have I been 20 years in thy house.
Yeah.
I served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle. And thou hast changed my wages 10 times.
Read again.
And thou hast changed my wages 10 times.
Read from the top.
Thus have I been 20 years in thy house.
Yeah.
I have served thee 14 years for thy 2
I
daughters,
served you 14 years, 7 years for each daughter, 14, go ahead.
and 6 years for thy cattle.
And 6 years for your cattle. For me, for my own, go ahead.
And thou hast changed my wages 10 times.
You changed my damn salary 10 times. I tell you, Laban was exploiting this brother. Go ahead.
Except the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac have been with me, surely thou hast sent me away now empty.
You would have robbed me. The most I didn't move the spirit of you, you would have let me kicked us out without anything. That's how Laban, that's the kind of spirit Laban had on him. He was freaking covetous. Go ahead.
God has seen my affliction and the labor of my hands,
Go ahead.
and rebuked thee yesternight.
But I believe, yeah, I rebuked thee. Then check him because Laban was going to come and harm him. The Most I said, hey, don't touch Jacob, or I'll take hands on you. So he rebuked Laban. All right. So let's go to 48, verse 48 to verse 50.
Verse 48. And Laban said, this heap is a witness between me and thee this day. Therefore was the name of it called Galeed. And Mizpah, for he said, the Lord watch between me and thee, when we are absent one from another.
Laban said, fine, you want to go? Fine. Let's make a vow towards each other, with each other, regarding my daughters. Go ahead.
And thou shalt afflict my daughters, or thou shalt take other wives beside my daughters.
You take my daughters now, then when I'm gone, you get rid of them. This is a vow or a promise that Jacob would not do these things once they leave him. Go ahead.
No man is with us. See, God is witness between me and thee.
Go ahead.
And Laban said to Jacob, behold his heap, and behold this pillar, which I have cast between me and thee.
Go ahead.
This heap be witness, and this pillar be witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and that thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm.
I won't hurt you. Go ahead, no harm. Go ahead.
The God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge between us, and Jacob swear by the fear of his father Isaac.
Of his father Isaac. So he swore, I will not dishonor your daughters. I'll take care of them. I will not remove them from me. So Laban had a care for his daughters. And he made a vow with Jacob not to put them away or to do them harm. That was a vow he made. So Laban made certain of that. With that oath. And at this time, oaths were very, very important. You had to keep them. You could not break them, or you get serious judgment. All right? That's why we say to y'all now, Christ said, no more, don't swear no more. Because swearing is a serious act. Do not do that anymore. No more, don't longer forswear yourself. Back then, I thought I was taken more seriously. Then as time went on, Israel went the hell off, started swearing every 5 minutes. Yeah, I swear this, I swear that, and break every promise they could. And got put through all kind of judgments. So Christ said, don't do it no more. All right? Let's go to 33 verse 17.
Genesis chapter 33 verse 17. And Jacob journeyed to Succoth, and built him an house, and made booths for his cattle.
They made booths for his cattle. Go ahead.
Therefore the name of the place is called Succoth.
That's booths or tabernacle. All right, so Abraham, it says Jacob went and built him a house for his cattle. Okay? So he had land, he built that house for his cattle to live in. This man had wealth, once again. Let's jump to 18:19. Go ahead.
Verse 18. And Jacob came to Shalem, a city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, which he came from Padan Aram, and pitched his tent before the city.
Go ahead.
And he bought a parcel of a field.
So he went and bought land from there. Bought a parcel of land. Go ahead.
Where he has spread his tent.
The tent is his house. Put his tent there. Go ahead.
at the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money.
He paid a heathen for that piece of land for him to have it. Okay, go ahead. That's all. That's all, right? 19. So he built the house for his cattle, then bought a piece of land and pitched his tent there. So the man got a home for his family. You understand so far? Jacob's the provider so far. I don't see his wives doing this. Well, doing it for him, working while he sits around scratching. That's not biblical. He built the home. He built the house. He got land. Likewise, like an example, a perfect example of that among us is Deacon Abiel out in Oklahoma. Brothers moved out there to Oklahoma, got houses built up, got families out there. It's a prime example. Building houses from the ground up and moving in with their families. Having a community amongst us. That's what they did out there in Oklahoma. This is a prime example of being responsible men. 36 verse 6.
Genesis chapter 36, verse 6. And Esau took his wives, and his sons, and his daughters, and all the purchase of his house, and his cattle, and all his beasts, and all his substance, which he had got in the land of Canaan.
Because Esau and Jacob ended up becoming somewhat landmates. They shared the land. Go ahead.
And went into the country from the face of his brother Jacob.
Why? Go ahead.
For their riches were more than that they might dwell together.
See how rich they got? They had so much cattle. They said, listen, man, it's too much. It's not a booming for both of us. One of us got to go. So Esau said, fine, I'll leave. They both got very rich. Richer. Jacob and Esau became very, very wealthy to the point where they couldn't even share land. Because land, once again, back then, your cattle and the cattle that you had was what determined the land you had. So Esau had too much, Jacob had too much, so one left from the other. Go ahead.
And the land wherein they were strangers could not bear them because of their cattle.
See that? The land wherein they were strangers could not bear them because of their cattle. They had too much cattle one from another. So one had to go. So Esau left and ended up going to Mount Seir. And Jacob remained there. Now, so that shows again that they were rich. That's why I mentioned Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob earlier. Then I mentioned David and Solomon. These men had what in common? They had, who remembers? Wealth, land, power, rulership, and they were not captive. All right. Very good, you follow. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 7 and 23. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 23. Out there, Father.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 23. Hast thou children?
So a question is being asked, because the Bible is written in a masculine tone, because it's directed towards the leaders, the heads of the house. So it's written in a masculine tone. All right, read again.
Hast thou children?
So he's asking, hast thou children? Go ahead.
Instruct them.
Instruct them. Go ahead.
And bow down their neck from their youth.
Chastise them while they're still hope, while they're still young. Go ahead.
Hast thou daughters?
The question being posed, hast thou daughters? Go ahead.
Have a care of their body.
Have a care of their body means watch how they dress, watch the company they keep, watch where they go, watch what they do, watch who they talk to. Keep them under microscope, especially our sisters. Watch them. Watch them. Go ahead.
And show not thyself cheerful.
Do not play with your kids and treat them as your peers, as your buddies. Some of y'all do that. Don't call you by your first name. Don't call you by not mom, but by your first name. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. And that happens. I've seen it. Go ahead.
And show not thyself cheerful toward them.
Don't play with them. Be serious. Go ahead.
Marry thy daughter.
You know what the Bible says? It says to marry your daughter. Marry your daughter. Not give her a boyfriend. Not sweet 16s. Not prom night. No clubbing. What else is there? Whatever. Don't give her none of that stuff. Have a care for their body. Read again.
Marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter.
Oh, what?
And so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter.
A weighty matter is a serious matter. marrying a daughter is a serious matter because the man you give her to, she remains with him for the rest of her life. We married our sons off too, but it's written here. If you read about Samson, we gave our sons off away too. But the Bible says keep a careful, even more careful watch over daughters. Then,
but give her to a man of understanding.
to do what?
But give her to a man of understanding.
But give her to a man of understanding. I mean, a man that fears God, keeps the commandments, that's in this truth. Not some regular dude that are dating. That's the one. Dating. No. Dating simply means she's penis hopping. That's all that means. She's just rod hopping. One ride to the next till you find the right rod. Okay, that rod's good enough. No, it's not. Sight. That rod over there. Stop. Stop doing that. Dating is not biblical. It's not in the Bible. That's why I mentioned Sweet 16s, prom night, pajama parties, boyfriends, and dating. That's not biblical at all. That's why the irresponsible pregnancies take place. That's why the abortion clinics are filled to the brim. 90th percentage of them based upon irresponsible decisions. Not incest. Don't fall for that nonsense. Oh, rape. What if she's raped? What if it's in stop? That's not the majority of abortions that take place. Most of the abortions take place based upon people saying, I just don't want to, I'm just not ready. That's 90% of the time. I would say 96% of the time that's the excuse. I'm not ready. We did it. I didn't win nothing. I don't want no kids. I don't know who that guy even is. I don't know his name. That's the reason behind most of the abortions. Then the other 4%, 2% is the rape and the incest. But even in the rape, they still keep, most of the time they keep the child. Even with the rape. Not downplaying rape or incest, don't get me wrong. But I'm just letting y'all know that the abortions take place primarily based upon irresponsible whoring on both male and the female's part. That's what most of the abortions take place for. That's what Esau relies on. That's why he pushes lust out there. Lust everywhere. Lust on TV. Lust in the music. Lust on billboards. Lust about deodorant. Yeah, rub it. Rub it under your arms. Rub it. What? This degree. Rubbing what? But they get that sexual innuendo. Yeah, put it in your mouth. Mouthwash. What? Listerine. But all them sexual innuendos they put in there. You up there, yeah, rub it, yeah. Meanwhile, it's there in the deodorant commercial. But they put that out, they push that out there, that vibration, sex. Because sex what? Sex sells. And unfortunately, it costs us our lives. Or it costs you to take away another life that you don't want. Based upon sex sell or influence, sexual influence among us. Excessive, whether the music or commercials or billboards or magazines, radio, TV is pushed excessively, especially in our people. Even now, the damn mannequins. I see mannequins look like damn video vixens. Big old, huge behind waist. What the hell is this for? And you go to a white neighborhood, skinny, dressed up. Like, wow, look at the damn difference. Booty jeans on the mannequins in the hood. None of that's in the white neighborhoods. They push it any way they can. Then after the babies are aborted, what they do? Take the babies and use the organs. You think they dump them babies in the garbage? Oh, no. They don't do that. They keep them parts. They keep baby parts. That's why a lot of these kids is going missing around here in these black neighborhoods. You don't know. A lot of kids are going missing. A lot of kids who are being found with newspaper in their bodies and organs are gone. Now either we're scarecrows or something's wrong. So that's what happens. That's why I said have a care of your daughters. Watch your kids. Where are you going? What you doing? Who on the phone? What you doing that? Keep the door open. Don't lock no doors in this house. Lock the doors in your house. Amen. Close doors in your house.
That's right.
That's the house where I come from. Keep the damn door open. My mom was in the world and she knew. Keep the damn door open. It's my house. Why? Because I said so. Good enough. Because it ain't my house. Nowadays, keep the door open. F you. All right.
What the hell is this?
That's how it is in the world. But I know most of us up in here, we know better. Parents will beat you whatever they can find. What's a stick? Nah. Iron. There. Pots, pans, that's more effective. Put some ice on it. Don't go to school tomorrow. I'm light skinned. My mom can do that. Pots, pans, right. Pots and pans, all that. Knee in the rice. Hold the book. Hold up books. All that stuff.
Dictionaries.
I didn't get that. I wish I did. I got beatings. So let's go to 36:24. 36 and 24. Yeah. No. We 26. What about the 26? Verse 26. Sirach 7:26. I forgot.
Sirach chapter 7 verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
Hast thou a wife after thy mind?
Let's go to you married brothers. You have a wife after your mind. She's keeping the commandments. She's trying to apply. Because some of y'all expect women to just be righteous overnight. And some of y'all expect them to be righteous overnight. That's not how this works. This is what it's called. We are what I call the time a work in progress. We will always be a work in progress until Christ comes. So Christ is full. A work in progress. Not saying that you go to smoke crack until the end and go, I'm trying. I'm going to stop soon. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you make the effort to change and convert yourself, to be reformed in your mind. It's not going to be overnight. I'm not expecting you to stop because even people on drugs go to rehab, they got to take time. I understand all of that. But spiritually speaking, we are a work in progress. We strive for perfection. So a lot of you brothers up in here have wives who give you lip, curse you out, put their fist in your face, some of y'all do with that. And likewise. But again, it piss you off. You get mad, understand that. But again, work in progress. Take time. It takes a lot of time. Because a lot of sisters, they come from households that lack fathers. I'll put myself in there. We come from households that lack fatherhood. Hell, some lack motherhood. Hell, some of us lack both. Some come from adopted agencies, group homes, out in the street, aunts, grandmothers, too old to really watch you, too old. Oh, make sure you come back at night. Okay, Grandma. I'm going to come back at night. Come back tomorrow. They too old to remember. Some of y'all come from households where I had no supervision whatsoever. Then you come into the truth, expecting to be, what, discipline, 100% discipline? That's how this works. You come in here to get right, not be right already. If you're right already, you shouldn't be up in here if you're right already. If you're right already, then go somewhere else. Be right. It's just no for those who are right. It's for those who are sick. You don't go to the hospital when you're not sick. You go when you are sick or injured. We are an injured, spiritually injured and sick people. Some physically or mentally sick and injured. So a lot of you brothers have marital issues because your wives come from a background where they saw their mom punch their dad in the face, or baby daddy in the face, or whatever background you come from. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just speaking in general. So y'all expect your wives to be respectful towards you when they grew up seeing their mom dissing their father for most of their life. You can't expect that. Or you have wives who haven't had a father at all. You can expect those things. Those things have to be learned. You have to grow. Those things have to be learned and applied over time. Likewise, some of your brothers grew up in a household where your father was abusive, so you abuse your wives. Beat the hell out of them. Like damn Ike Turner, you trying to be Ike Turner. Doing a rehearsal. Or Joe Jackson. Yeah, you can't be like that. You can't be doing these things. But some of y'all come from a background of abusive households. Your fathers beat your mother up. Or your grandfather beat your grandmother up. Or your uncle beat your aunt up. So you go, okay, well that's how it's supposed to be. All right, cool. Generational destruction. Generative destruction, that's what that is. So you glean that from them, and that's so you would bring that into the family. Now you got an abusive household. Now you're passing generation. Now your child's watching you beat your wife up. What y'all gonna do? What's the child gonna do now? Beat their wife up. Beat their kids up. Now you done what? Add more insult to injury now. You done added to the problem. See, I can expect change overnight. You shouldn't be beating your wives or beating your husbands in the first place. Some of you women over here is diesel. Some of y'all diesel say beat your husbands up. That's rare. The wife beat the husband up. But y'all, some women are so they got the hood muscles. They got the hands. Oh snap! The shoulder.
They have like 11 brothers.
Yeah, they got 8 brothers, 9 brothers, right? They got the hands. See, they're forcibly reckoned with. Punch in the throat. Gotta be careful, man. But again, jokes aside, brothers gotta learn, and sisters gotta learn that they're work in progress, but that's not an excuse to be wicked as hell and exploit that. Because Christ will take you out of this world if you want to. The Lord, play with the Lord if you want to. All right? Let's go to, finish it up, man. Finish it, 26.
Forsake her not.
So it says, you have a wife after your mind, forsake her not. I mean, she's not like that. She's trying to get herself right as you're trying to get yourself right. It says, forsake her not. Some of you brothers in here are brand new and you're thirsting to put her away. And you ain't right. Brand new. Yeah, she's wicked. Only remember this, brother. 5 minutes. You are simple as hell. 5 minutes. Yeah, she ain't right, brother. Oh, you ain't right either. If she ain't right, she's your bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh. What do you righteous? You wicked too then. Read on.
But give not thyself over to a light woman.
Meaning, don't give yourself over to a light woman, a hateful, evil woman, ungodly, worldly woman. Don't do that. Some of y'all brothers are willing to put away a sister who's trying to get right, but one who don't want to get right at all. Just of the world. We've seen that with opposites. Brothers and left their wives in the truth for women in the world. That's the worst kind of mistake you can make. Worst mistake. Because she destroyed. If she's willing to be with you and ruin that and help you ruin that marriage, then guess what she's gonna do? She's gonna go and let somebody else that's married. That's what she does. They're not faithful. If she don't care about you being faithful to your wife, she will not be faithful to you. That's just how it is. But brothers are not. They're not wise. They don't think like that. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 36:24. Ecclesiastes 36 and 24.
Sirach chapter 36 verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession.
Begins a what?
Beginneth a possession.
Go ahead.
A help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest.
Read again.
He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession.
He that gets a wife begins. Means a process. Begins a possession. Beginneth a possession. A possession. Now let's examine possession, because the doctrine of the vampire Israelites is that a possession is basically a woman that gets a job, works 9 to 5, while you go out and do the work of the Lord. You don't work, she takes care of you, she brings the checks home to you. Or the wives, if you want to call them that, whores or girlfriends, I'll be nice. Girlfriends go out and work while you sit around and do the work of the Lord. That's not biblical. That's pimping. That's what that is. Begins the possession. Now let's name some possessions. I'll go soon down. Cattle. Does cattle take care of itself?
No.
No. Is it cattle a possession?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Children. Are they possessions that take care of themselves?
Nope.
No, you take care of the children. A carriage, like a horse and carriage, it take care of itself? No, it's a possession. You got to take care of it. Make sure the wheels are right. Make sure what do they call it? Carriage. Come with a carriage. You got to make sure it's maintained. Along with the horses, that's part of the carriage that pull it. Weapons. Weapons take care of themselves?
No.
Weapons possessions?
Yes.
Yes, they are. You clean it out, empty the clip. You know, some of you brothers who are armed know what I'm talking about, who are legally armed, hopefully. Dylan, move something here. So, again, these are possessions. These are possessions that must be maintained and cared for. Children, maintained, cared for. Cattle, maintained, cared for. Carriage, horse and carriage, weapons, maintain. Your sword got to be sharpened. You got to sharpen it. Make sure, put it on the wheel. You know, you spin the wheel around and sharpen the edge. You got to be maintained or it gets what? It gets dull. Got to maintain it. So somehow how a possession goes from you but taking care of it to not it taking care of you. No. It takes care of you when you take care of it. That's the rules. When you have, for example, a servant. We had servants and slaves back then. The servants got to do what? They got to eat. They got to be fed, maintained, looked after, roof over their head, while they what? Serve you. But the key thing is you provide them with the services in which they are able to what? Serve you. Likewise, a wife. A wife's job is to be a helpmeet for you, serve you. You must provide her with the means to do so. But somehow, the vampires, the blades of Israel, seems to believe that they can suck the juices from the wives and they can maintain themselves while they do the work of the Lord. That's not biblical. That's pimping. That's what that is. Read again.
Sirach chapter 36 verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession. A help like unto himself.
A help like unto himself means you have the same mind. Go ahead.
And a pillar of rest.
And you sisters, this is for you. A pillar of rest. Not a pillar of pest. A pillar of rest. Not punching brothers in the throat like I mentioned earlier. Or throwing things at them. Or being violent. Y'all gotta stop doing that. Because y'all know full well your man, you know your man's strength. He wanted to knock you unconscious into the next realm. He could. Some of y'all take advantage of that and go, yeah, 911. I do it. Slap. I'll do it. Some brothers don't care about 911. Some brothers is crazy. They'll throw it out the window and come to the door like this. I'm sorry, I had to do it. She's getting my nerves. Handcuffs. Some brothers don't care about that. Be mindful, sisters, when you push. Some brothers, you push to the edge. You keep pushing them. Be on 9 o'clock news. And you in a freaking grave somewhere. Because y'all want to be pushing brothers' buttons. Stop doing that. Stop it. Then come crying to us, he hit me. What happened? Oh, I slapped him in the eyes. Oh, okay. What you want us to do? Hit him back for you? No. Stop laying hands on their brother. And stop laying hands on their sister. Stop fighting entirely. How about that? Brothers can easily, I don't know, walk out the house. That works too. Go into another room. But some of y'all crazy will go bang the door. Where you at? Bang the door. Make it worse. Make it an agitate things. Stop doing that. But again, it goes back to being undisciplined, coming from unnurtured homes and unnurturing parents that have not taught us those things. And so you must learn those things and be born again in here. So now let's get Exodus 21 and verse 10.
The book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 10. If he take him another wife.
Old covenant, man can have more than one. Plurality. Go ahead.
Her food, her raiment,
clothing,
and her duties of marriage.
Relations, sexual relations, as well as other things pertaining to marriage. Go ahead.
Her duties of marriage shall he not diminish.
Shall he not diminish? Which seems to be a verse. This part of this verse is overlooked. Only thing you see in thirsty Negroes is another wife. See, brother? See, ak. Another wife, ak. Yeah, but what about he not diminish, ak? What about that part? That part's neglected. Nah, brother, she's a possession. What she has is mine. Okay, that's true. But the Bible says if a man don't work, he don't eat. What about that part? Did not Adam work? Did not Adam have a job? The first man on earth was what? He was a farmer. His job was to take care. Let's get that real quick. The first man the Most High formed had a job. But now, all of a sudden, a man don't need a job. Do the work of the Lord. Genesis 2. Where was it before? It's been a while. Give me a minute. It says the land. I'm getting the job. I'll find it first. Let's mention it. 1. Is it chapter 1 or 2?
2 and 5.
2:5. Hold on. 15. Which one? Chapter 1 or 2?
2.
2:15. Read that.
The book of
That's it. Thank you.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 15.
Read verse 8.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 8.
Verse 7. Sorry, verse 7.
Verse 7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul.
Go ahead. That's Adam. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward of Eden.
In Eden.
Eastward in Eden.
So the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden. Meaning Adam was placed, he was isolated from everybody else. He put Adam further away from everybody else. Eastward. That'd be Jerusalem, actually. That's where he's at, in Jerusalem. Eastward in Eden. Go ahead.
And there he put the man whom he had formed.
And there he put the man whom he had formed. The man, the first man, Alpha of all, Adam. He put Adam there. Now verse 15.
Verse 15. And the Lord God took the man.
Took the man, back in verse 8, go ahead.
And put him into the garden of Eden.
Eastward, go ahead.
To dress it and to keep it.
What's that called? That's called a farmer. A husbandman. A farmer. To cultivate the land. Is that work?
Yes, it is.
Is that a job?
Yeah.
Those of y'all from the South don't talk about it. Is that a job?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is. I got cousins who are hot diesel from that. 12 years old with muscles, 8-pack. That's 6-pack. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Damn. At 12. From farm work. Down south. Pushing that thing. You know you gotta push that metal thing. I don't know what it's called. What is it called? It's a plow. They gotta lift it up and drill the ground. It's like a giant fork or something. A plow. And push it down. Strong as hell. That's work. When you put it down, you sweating. Whew, damn. That's a lot of work. So Adam had a job. The first formed man was given a job before he got a wife. That's before. Because later on, what's it at? Let me see if I have it. That was 2 verse 8 and 15. Then 20, he gives him a wife. He gave him a job first. Then gave him a wife. See that the Lord reveals the things in order? Adam had a place to live. East of Eden. Here's a job. You're a farmer. Now I'm going to give you a wife. Now you're ready for it. No, then he gave him a job. Name the creatures. Now here's your wife. Go give him a place to stay. Gave him a job. Gave him a wife. That's the order of operations. Israel forgot that. Now they think it's she take care of you, then you get a place. No. No. Let's go back. We were at before. Yeah. You in
Exodus.
Exodus 2:10. No, go to Ecclesiastes 29. Ecclesiastes 29:21. So we read in Exodus 21, shall he not diminish? Shall he not diminish? Ecclesiastes 29 and 21.
The book of Sirach, chapter 29 and verse 21. The chief thing for life is water and bread.
The chief things for life, the most important things is water, go ahead,
and bread,
bread,
and clothing, and an house to cover shame.
because that's where water and bread and clothing goes, in a house to cover shame. 22.
Verse 22. Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage.
Meaning a place that's not so decent. This is your place. It may have roaches here and there. It may have some rats, mice running around. But guess what? It's your place. With your mice in your place. Rather than your mice in your mama's house, in your mama's basement, your mama's attic. Let's go to my mom's attic. That's pathetic, man. Let's go upstairs, honey, to my mom's attic. That's childish. That's a childish mindset to even pride yourself in that. And you sisters should be ashamed of yourselves, even allowing yourselves to be taken to his parents' house to be laid with in the first place. Have more respect for yourself. But brothers who are wicked, the vampires of Israel, look for sisters who have low self-esteem, don't know the scriptures, somewhat slow. I'm not meaning, I might be mocking them. Some of them are not. Some sisters are, they're not that intelligent. And they look for sisters they can use to manipulate who are not well up there, and they manipulate them. Lay with them, give them babies, and don't take care of them. They'll stay over there. And just leave them high and dry. And they complain to us, calling us, say, listen, my husband's so-and-so. What you want us to do as your husband? We ain't the police of Israel. We can't fix your marriage. You picked them. What can we do? But we get complaints. And the husbands get mad at us because their wives complain to us. It's not our fault. Read on. 22.
Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage than delicate fare in another man's house.
Better is it to live in a house that's not so good of your own than in a great house than somebody living with somebody else under someone else's roof. That's not good. That's the law saying. Go to 39:26. 39:26, same book.
The book of Sirach, chapter 39, verse 26. The principal thing for the whole use of man's life are water.
Principal things, once again, is the more important things, or chief things, same thing. Principal and chief things are the same thing. Read again.
The principal things for the whole use of man's life
In his own house, go ahead.
are water,
Water.
fire,
Be your stove.
iron,
Go ahead.
and
Metal.
salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grapes.
That's that wine. Go ahead.
And oil and clothing.
Go ahead.
Verse 27. All these things are for good to the godly.
Go ahead.
So to the sinner they are turned into evil.
If you're wicked as hell, the Most High will take those things and turn them again, use them against you in some form or another. So those things are the most important things to have in your possession when you seek to begin one, which will be a wife. Let's go to Judith chapter 8, verse 1. Let's see how our forefathers dealt with their wives, what they did. That a lot of Israelite men, vampires, don't do. Because remember, the doctrine is for plural wives, the wives take care of you. They have their own jobs. They take care of themselves while you just do the work of the Lord. You're a prophet. Okay. Judith 8, verse 1.
The book of Judith, chapter 8 and verse 1. Now at the time Judith heard thereof, which was the daughter of Merari, the son of Ox, the son of Joseph, the son of Aziel, the son of Eliah, the son of Ananias, the son of Gideon, the son of Raphaim, the son of Asithel, the son of Eliu, the son of Eliab, the son of Nathaniel, the son of Samael, the son of Salasadai, and the son of Israel.
Go ahead.
And Manasseh was her husband of her tribe and kindred, who died in barley harvest.
This is a child Manasseh. So it says her husband, who's of her kindred, died in the barley harvest. Remember, our forefathers were into what? They had cattle. They had to cultivate land. The biggest job of our forefathers back then would be a carpentry or farming. Cultivation. That's what they dealt with, which is a job. Watch this, read.
Verse 3. For as he stood overseeing them that bound sheaves in the field.
So he had servants, and he would oversee the servants working out in his land, in his field. Go ahead.
The heat came upon his head.
So he caught heat stroke. Go ahead.
And he fell on his bed and died in the city of Bethulia. And they buried him with his fathers in the field between Dathaim and Balamo.
All right, hold on. Read on to verse 7.
Verse 4. So Judith was a widow in her house 3 years and 4 months.
So she mourned him 3 years and 4 months. She loved that man. 3 years and 4 months she mourned. Widowhood. Go ahead.
And she made her tent upon the top of her house.
So they had a house, and she built a tent on top of it. Go ahead.
And put on sackcloth on her loins, and wore her widow apparel.
All that time. Go ahead.
And she fasted all the days for of her widowhood, save the eves. Save the eves of the Sabbath, and the Sabbath, and the eves of the new moon, and the new moon, and the feasts and solemn days of the house of Israel.
So she didn't fast, except she didn't fast in those days. Go ahead.
She was also of a godly countenance. She was also of a goodly countenance, and very beautiful to behold.
She was very gorgeous. Go ahead.
And her husband Manasseh had left her gold and silver.
Whoa. Read 7 slow. What did her husband leave her?
And her husband Manasseh had left her gold and silver.
Go ahead.
And menservants and maidservants and cattle and
lands. Go ahead.
And lands, and she remained upon them.
So when her husband died, he left her an inheritance to be taken care of. He left behind something for her to be taken care of if he were to die. But man is doing the work of the Lord and not doing any kind of work. Did he leave behind an inheritance? No. Did he leave behind a Bible? Not going to pay a bill, Negro? That's dumb as hell. That's a lazy vampire spirit. A freaking succubus. That's evil as hell. But our forefathers left behind for his wife gold, silver, menservants, maidservants, cattle, lands. And she remained upon them. Left behind something for the wife to be taken care of, but he's gone. You can't do that unemployed. You cannot do it. Where we at? Jump to verse 10.
Verse 10. Then she sent her waiting
Woman.
woman that had the government of all things that she had to call Ozias and Shabriz and Charmis, the ancients of the city. The ancients of the city.
So she had a woman that was over her estate that helped her over her estate. You understand? So she had land, she had wealth. That her husband left behind, an inheritance that her husband left behind for her. Likewise, Abraham, remember Isaac had reopened up Abraham's wells because Abraham passed on and left behind something for his child to bring his wives to live in. And Jacob, the same thing. Isaac died. Jacob did the same thing. They left behind something for their children and their children's children. They didn't just leave. They didn't just sit there and go, "Oh, I'm doing the work of the Lord. You go out and work for me." That's not biblical. You pimping. Let's go to Proverbs 13 and 22.
Proverbs chapter 13, verse 22. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children.
You know what it says? A good man does that? Because a bad man doesn't. A wicked man doesn't do that. Read again.
A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children.
Grandkids. Go ahead.
And the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just.
So a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. Our forefathers made certain to leave behind something. Even in captivity, we don't have much. You may not have much to leave behind, but at least have something. Get a job, get yourself some kind of benefits, an insurance policy of some kind to leave behind for your wife, for your kids, something. Otherwise, they're going to suffer. They're going to suffer. Leave them with nothing. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. You brothers out there, brothers who are married with kids, and you somehow saying, "I ain't gotta work. I just collect so and so, collect this and collect that." You gotta work. You can't have insurance with unemployment forever. You have to work. You have to maintain. So your kids have something left behind, something of some kind to leave behind for your family. But brother, a good man thinks that way. A bad man, as y'all say in Benjamin, bad man, a bad man don't care. He's like, "Yo, whatever, man. I'm dead. Handle it yourself." That's an evil man. Evil as hell. That's why it says a good man does these things. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus 33, verse 19. That goes back to being responsible. That's something that people hate. The 3 R's I mentioned all the time. The 3 R's that people are afraid of: reading, reality, and responsibility are the greatest fear of our people. Ecclesiasticus 33, verse 19. We're going to read the verse 23.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 33, verse 19. Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, power over thee while thou
Can we get
livest.
that again? Read it one time. Let me get to it. Go ahead.
Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend,
Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, go ahead,
power over thee while thou livest.
power over you while you live. What does that mean? It's going to explain it as you read further down. Go ahead.
And give not thy goods to another. Lest
Meaning
if
someone else, because what happens is Esau will take your stuff. Rather, like for example, your brothers in here who have a woman you're not married to. Let's say you're not married to her legally. You die, God. Let's say you die tomorrow, God forbid. And you got wicked family members. Who will take in possession of your things? Your family. Because your wife can't say, "Yeah, we had sex, so I'm his wife." Yeah, and you're not gonna listen to that. You have to have a legal documentation to substantiate that is your woman. That he's your man. Otherwise, it's done and board. If something happened to him, you're done. We've had instances where a brother has died, had so-called wives, and his family came and said, "Those aren't his wives, those are his girlfriends," and gave him a Christian burial. White Jesus, a big cross on top of his damn grave. And he was in the truth. Why? Because of his wives. All you gotta do is bang them and that's it. That's a wife. Though not, he got a Christian burial. Who the hell wants that? Go out like that? Get to putting some freaking defiled white Jesus casket, goddamn white Jesus on your casket, smiling like this in the damn casket, loaded to the ground. That's embarrassing. I better think ahead. Read again. 19 again.
Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, power over thee while thou livest.
Go ahead.
And give not thy goods to another,
Go ahead.
lest it repent thee, and thou entreat for the same again.
Go ahead.
As long as thou livest.
Read up part again. To another. Give not thy goods.
Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, power over thee while thou livest. And give not thy goods to another.
Give not your goods to another. Meaning, do not lend somebody something and then ask for it back. Now, some of you brothers will do someone a favor and then you give them something and then you're gonna ask for it back again. That's power. Have your own things for yourself. Don't keep a lot. Don't always. What you're saying is, don't always rely on people for everything. Can I borrow your car? Can I borrow your keys? Can I borrow this? Can I borrow that? Get your own stuff. Or because it's a shame to keep going back and forth. Can I borrow it again? Like, damn, again, my car again. This here. That's embarrassing. Some of y'all don't embarrass some of y'all. Some of y'all are cool with that. Yeah, okay, he's up to see. Who cares? Drive his car. Don't do that. Don't always be the beggar. Don't always ask for things all the time. Get it yourself. Get your own stuff. Get your own car. Get your own place. Be responsible. Read on. Lest it repent thee. You regret it.
And thou entreat for the same again.
You gotta add, damn, I need it one more time. Damn, I gotta borrow the car again. Now you feel bad. You asked earlier, you gotta ask for it again. Read on.
As long as thou livest.
As long as you are alive. This Lord's breath is in you. Go ahead.
And has breath in thee.
Go ahead.
Give not thyself over to any.
Do not put yourself in a position where you have to rely on others for everything. Go ahead. Especially a wife, a son, a brother, and a friend. Go ahead.
For better it is that thy children should seek to thee.
Read that part again.
For better it is that thy children should seek to thee.
It is better for your children to rely upon you. Go ahead.
Than that thou shouldst stand to their courtesy.
Then rather than you begging your kid, hey son, can I borrow your car, son? Yeah, that don't make no sense. Can I borrow your broom, son? Can I borrow your mop head? What? Stop. Then it says, read that part, read it again. In the beginning, that part.
For better it is that thy children should seek to thee.
It is better that you maintain the authority. That their kids come to you. Dad, can I come back home and need a place to stay for a little while? Not vice versa. Hey son, can I stay at your brother for a little while? I need a place to crash. Ask your daughter to stay in our house. Come on, man. Go ahead.
For better it is that thy children should seek to thee.
Go ahead.
Than that thou shouldst stand to their courtesy.
Then you working for them. You asking for them for stuff. Relying upon them. Go ahead, watch this.
In all thy works.
No, some of thy works.
In all thy works.
You.
In all thy works.
All thy works. All thy works. Thy doings. Go ahead.
Keep to thyself the preeminence.
What does that mean? Keep to thyself the preeminence. What does that mean? See if you can get it. You brother. No. Get the mic.
Shalom.
Shalom.
It's saying keep authority over your own self.
Yes! That's what it's saying. Do not rely upon others for everything. At least all the time. Maintain preeminence. You're the provider. You're the head of the house. Preeminence. Preeminence. You don't rely on your kids for stuff. They rely on you. That's not how it's supposed to be. Now, of course, when you get really old, that's something else. You can't take care of yourself. Your wits are against you. You wear a diaper, you're old, your teeth are gone, you're feeble. That's something else. The law covers that too. We'll get that. Read on. I'll deal with that after. Go ahead. 22.
In all thy works, keep to thyself the preeminence.
Go ahead.
Leave not a stain in thy honor.
And leave not a what?
A stain in thy honor.
Don't embarrass yourself for being the one that's known to be a beggar or living with your kid's house and you're the parent. That stains your honor. Real quick, get 3. This is an instance where your kids take care of you. Real quick. I think this is it. It's been a while. Give me a minute. 3. Hold on. 3. This is wits about him. His wits. 3, 1. Hold on. Father, mother. Give me a second. Here we go. Verse 12.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 12.
Give verse 8 first.
Verse 8. Honor thy father and mother, both in word and deed, that a blessing may come upon thee from them.
Like Jacob did. Turn on to verse 12.
Verse 12. My son, help thy father in his age, and grieve him not as long as he liveth.
Don't get frustrated as long as he gets old. He starts forgetting things. Go ahead.
And if his understanding fail,
You get old, you forget things. You get old, you get older people, things start to slip your memory. Go ahead.
have patience with him,
Go ahead.
and despise him not when thou art in thy full strength.
When you're in your prime, don't despise your father. He took care of you. He took care of you. Don't despise him. So it's the time when your parents are, it says their understanding fails them, and then their strength is not there. It says then you look after them. Then you take care of them. You understand? That's when you have preeminence. That's when your preeminence is gone. You're old. You've done your job. Your kids are older now. They got their place. They grown their own family. You get old. They come take care of you. That's the order of things. When you can't take care of yourself no longer, or your mind's no longer with you, then your kids come and look after you. Not when you're in your right mind. No, don't do that. Now let's go to Numbers 30, verse 3.
Numbers chapter 30, verse 3. If a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord, and buy herself by a bond.
That bond is a vow, that promise, the oath. That goes back to that same thing that happened with Jacob and Laban, with the stones. That's the vow they made. This is the process of a vow that's made. Read again, or swearing. Go ahead.
If a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord, and bind herself by a bond,
A vow.
being in her father's house in her youth.
Where is she in her youth?
In her father's house.
Where is she in her youth?
Her father's house.
In her father's house. Because why? Because he's the one providing for the daughter. You're going to find that the relationship between a father and daughter and husband and wife are very much similar, with the exception of sexual relations. It's very much the same. Read on.
And her father hear her vow, and her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul.
So a young girl, sister, that's still in her father's home, makes a vow to the Lord. She makes a vow to the Lord. Lord, I promise to do. Lord, I'll do this for me, and I'll do so and so. She puts herself under a vow, or under an oath, or it's also called a curse, which goes back to a promise or a covenant. Read it again.
And her father hear her vow.
And her father overhears her making this promise or vow to the Lord to uphold and keep. Go ahead.
And her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul.
Because when you make a vow or you swear, you bond your soul to that. So when you break that vow, what have you jeopardized? Your soul, your life. Read.
And her father shall hold his peace at
And her
her.
father hears it and goes, okay, no problem. Lets it go. Hold his peace.
Then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand.
What's that tell you? That tells you that a man has the right to null void the daughter's prayers. So if your daughter makes some swears, well, back this time, swears, makes a vow, and the husband says, and the father hears it and goes, no. The Lord will go, okay, no, and disavow, knocks it out. That's how much power a man has. The father has in the house. You can literally tell angels, no, don't listen to that, and it will not be listened to. That's how much power we had at this time. Read on.
Verse 5. But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth, not any of her vows or of her bonds wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand. and the Lord shall forgive her, because her father disallowed
See
it.
that? The Lord said, okay, fine. The father doesn't agree to that vow, it's disregarded. I will annul that vow she made to me. Based upon what the father says. Read on.
And if she had at all an husband,
Now, this is going for a sister that's no longer under her father's roof, under her husband's roof now. Go ahead.
when she vowed or uttered aught out of her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard
And
it,
her husband hears it. Now it's her husband now.
and held his peace at her in the day that he heard it.
Same thing as her father. Stays quiet about it. Okay, let's it slide. Go ahead.
Then her vow shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand.
Go ahead.
But if her husband disallowed her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul of none effect, and the Lord shall forgive her.
See the difference? See the comparison? The father has power over the daughter. Husband has power over the wife. And I'm not saying power like a freaking tyrannical maniac, like a freaking dictator. I'm talking about the power to literally stop a vow or an oath or a prayer, literally and end it. The father and the husband have that responsibility to null and void their daughters or their wives' vows that they made in this time. You understand that? Yes. So they share the same responsibilities. Let's go to Malachi 1 and 6. Malachi chapter 1, verse 6. Watch this. I'm sure there's the same. The relationships are very much similar. Malachi chapter 1, verse 6. This is the Most High speaking to Israel through the prophet Malachi. Watch this.
Malachi 1 verse 6. A son honoreth his father, and a servant his master.
A son honoreth his father, and a servant his master. Go ahead.
If then I be a father,
If then I be a father, go ahead.
where is my honor?
Where's my honor? Go ahead.
And if I be a master, where is my fear? Saith the Lord of hosts unto you, O priests that despise my name, and ye say,
And ye say,
wherein have we despised thy name?
So he goes, the son honoreth his father. If I be a father, where's my honor? So the Heavenly Father calls himself our Father, right? Let's go to Isaiah 54 and 5. Watch this. Isaiah 54, verse 5. So he calls himself a master and a father. Because a master provides for his servant, as a father provides for his daughter.
Isaiah chapter 55 verse 5.
54 verse 5.
Isaiah 54 verse 5. For thy maker is thy husband.
Wait a minute. Read it again.
For thy maker is thy husband.
For thy maker is thine husband. Go ahead.
The Lord of hosts is his name. And thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. The God of the whole earth shall he be called.
So thy maker is thine husband. First he was a father. Then he was a master. Now he's a husband. What do they all have in common? They're all providers. And they're all lords over who they're over. The father's on the father. That's all I wanted. The father is over the daughter. Husband's over the wife. Master over the servant. There's an order of operations. And all the husband, the father, and the master provide for all three. Provide for them. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon 8 verse 1. The Heavenly Father calls himself our Father as well as the husband because he what? He looks after us. We're under his spiritual roof. We follow his laws, his regulations, his rules. It's the same thing. Wisdom of Solomon 8. Verse 1. Regarding a spouse and where she should be. This is Solomon speaking about, this is King Solomon speaking regarding wisdom. He speaks of her in parable form as a woman. Watch this.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 8 verse 1. Wisdom reacheth from one end to another mightily,
One end of the earth to another, mightily. Go ahead.
and sweetly does she order all things.
She keeps things in order. Wisdom. Go ahead.
I loved her,
I loved her. Wisdom. Watch this.
and saw her out from my youth.
Go ahead.
I desired to make her my spouse.
I desire to make wisdom my spouse. Wife. Go ahead.
And I was a lover of her beauty.
And I loved her beauty. Now jump to verse, not her booty, her beauty. Verse 9.
Verse 9. Therefore I purpose to take her to me to live with me.
We do it with wisdom? As like a spouse?
Therefore I purpose to take her
I
to me.
propose.
Therefore I propose to take her to me to live with me.
To live with me. To take her with me, to live with me. Go ahead.
Knowing that she would be a counselor of good things, and a comfort in cares and grief.
And in comfort and cares and grief. That's what a wife is. Remember, we said about a wife, she said what? A pillar of what? Comfort and grief. Same exact thing regarding wisdom. He's speaking about wisdom. But he says, take her to live with me as a spouse. So your spouse, that's why Jacob said, I want to take my wives and children, Laban. I want to go. It's time for me to go. When Abraham left his land, he took his wife with him. It's no, oh, you stay here and I'm going to go to Canaan, I'll come back to you. That's not in the Bible, man. It's not in there. Let's go to Genesis 38 and 6. Our forefathers did not have hoes in different area codes, like Luda. They did not have that going on in the Bible. Genesis 38, verse 6. We're going to read the verse 11.
Genesis chapter 38, verse 6. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord. And the Lord slew him. And Judah said unto Onan, Go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother.
According to law, if a brother died, leaving behind no children, his brother had to go in his stead and bring up children in his name. So his name wouldn't die in Israel. This is before Moses. That's in Deuteronomy 25, verse 5 to 10. The precept for this is Deuteronomy 25, 5 to 10, regarding raising up seed in your brothers or deceased brother's stead in his name, to keep his name alive in the nation. Read on. But this guy, watch what he does.
And Onan knew that the seed should not be his.
But then his brother's name is rather than his name, his brother's name instead. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife,
He lay with her. Go ahead.
that he spilled it on the ground,
Pulled out and spilled on the floor. He made sure she didn't get pregnant. Go ahead.
lest that he should give seed to his brother.
He didn't want to. He hated his brother. Go ahead.
And the thing which he did displeased the Lord. Wherefore he slew him
So
also.
he killed him too. Go ahead.
Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, Remain a widow at thy father's house.
Remain a what?
A widow at thy father's house.
Where?
Remain a widow at thy father's house.
When her husband died, where'd she go? Back to her father's house. Because that's who took care of her from the beginning. So the responsibility of the husband is gone. It goes right back to who? The father. It's that simple. Because the husband takes upon himself the responsibilities that the father once had. Now, the Heavenly Father calls us his child or his wife. Because both responsibilities are one and the same, with the exception of, God forbid, sexual relations. That's incest. You understand? But the responsibilities remain the same regarding a man and a woman in terms of fatherhood and daughter, or husband and wife.
Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you have noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC. to stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this and join IUIC channel to get your latest updates from all our YouTube channels. Shalom.